Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our official website. So check us out. Adam, where can we follow you on your social media?
Check me out at Fly as a Kite on Instagram and YouTube.
Okay. Miss Lynia Love.
Even though I am on a social media break, y'all can follow. I ain't following until I get back on, and I don't know when that's gonna be. But I'm Lynia Love on everything.
And Mr. Chike Evans.
You can Google me, Chike Evans, and all of my social media is there. And I just want to say, since you asked, Stephen, please also stream 2 movies, Mercy, which I'm in, and Love 'Em, the award-winning Love 'Em or Leave 'Em romantic comedy, which is streaming on Tubi, and Mercy is actually on Amazon. And yeah, that's it.
All right. And I'm Stephen Knight 32 on most everything. All right. So a New York middle school is apologizing after catching major heat for serving its students watermelon and chicken and waffles for the first day of Black History Month. Now, the school has been identified as Nayyir Middle School, which is in Nayyir, a New York City suburb in Rockland County. Earlier last week, the school was under serious heat after students were offered chicken and waffles for lunch with a side of watermelon. The school principal, Dave Johnson, he pretty much said it wasn't their fault. It was their the district's vendor, Aramark, and released a statement. He said the menu was supposed to be Philly cheesesteak with a side of broccoli and fresh fruit. Released a statement and said, "We're extremely disappointed by the regrettable situation and apologize to the entire Nayyir community for the cultural insensitivity displayed by our food service provider. I'm disappointed that Aramark would serve items that differ from the published monthly menu, especially items that reinforce negative stereotypes concerning the African-American community." Now, apparently, this isn't the first time the vendor was in trouble for something similar. In 2018, New York University severed its ties with the company after they came up with another special menu for Black History Month, which included ribs, collard greens, and for the drink, Kool-Aid. Aramark did release a statement. "We apologize for the unintentional insensitivity shown on February 1st, the first day of Black History Month. We acknowledge that the timing was inappropriate and our team should have been more thoughtful in its service. This was a mistake and does not represent the values of our company, and we are committed to doing better in the future. We will be partnering with the district so employees who work in the schools participate in training that aligns to the Nayyir School District's vision and commitment to the equity-driven work. We believe this will provide a good learning opportunity to deepen understanding of the impact of systemic biases and negative stereotypes concerning the African-American community." They have a good attorney. I'll start with you, Lynia. Why do people miss this? Why is it?
You know what? A mistake is one time, right?
Right.
Anything else after that is a pattern. And what seems to be happening is this pattern happens right when Black History Month starts. So this whole, we apologize, it doesn't represent the values of our company. Obviously it does.
Right.
When Black History Month rolls around. Now let me say this. I don't love watermelon and chicken and waffles because I'm Black.
Right.
I love it because it's good.
Right.
And I get so happy to be Black.
Right. Yeah.
That's all. I'm done.
Yeah. Why even try to switch the menu up for Black History Month? Adam, what are your thoughts on this story?
I think someone was trying to get away with this. That's what it sounds like. Someone thought they could sneak in a joke, and I'm sure someone at the president of the company probably is unaware of anything since it's a giant company, even though he should be. But someone tried this, and they've tried it before, and it was someone that thought they were going to be funny or they're going to be offensive, or whoever it was thought they would get away with it, and yeah, that's what happened. It wasn't like I doubt the Aramark higher ups were like, "Oh, let's switch up the menu." I think someone in the middle was trying to get away with something.
Right. What are your thoughts, Chike?
So I'm not quite sure. If there was an Indian appreciation, right? And they decided to serve hummus and chickpeas, would anyone be offended?
But-
I don't really think that they would.
That's an Indian dish.
Yeah, and that's not a historically like racist or stereotypical thing that was perpetrated amongst Indian people.
I'm just going to go on record and say this. I'm Black, and a lot of people eat fried chicken and waffles that are Black. And we kind of tend to gravitate toward that ourselves. It's a known thing. I'm just going to say that. Not that it's a Black staple, but we do kind of gravitate toward it. If you were doing that in the name of inclusion, it can be argued, but you should have consulted with someone before you decided to do it. You just don't, because it comes off as being ignorant. But me personally, being a kid at lunch and getting chicken and waffles with a side of watermelon, I probably would have been happy, honestly. Just saying.
Yeah, that sounds like an Abbott Elementary storyline.
Right. Exactly.
Some kids switching things up. Yeah.
My thing is, so the ribs, collard greens, I didn't see anything wrong with that, but the Kool-Aid threw me off for the New York University.
Kool-Aid is just unhealthy.
But my thing is, if they lost a client as a result of that menu, they should have been more mindful not to do, because I think they went harder with the chicken and waffles and watermelon. The ribs and collard greens they could have got away with, they didn't have Kool-Aid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the chicken and waffles and watermelon, someone was trying to be slick. I'm sorry. That person needs to go. Well, social media is having a field. Oh, I'm sorry, Lydia. You had something to add?
What's the probability that it was the same person?
Right, exactly.
Because school menus are done way in advance before the school year starts.
And that's
that
what
I
Nan said.
know from being an administrator in the school. The school menu will start way before the school year starts. So what's the probability if this happened in 2018, we're not that far removed from it, that it was the same individual?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, social media is having a field day after Copen State University, an HBCU, in Maryland crowned its first Latina student as queen. The student has since been identified as Kaylin Perez and has been getting bullied ever since the news hit the internet. Now, upon being named queen of the historically Black college university, Perez claimed that some of her haters believe that she's white. And therefore, she does not have a place at HBCU, much less deserve the title as queen of such an institution. Perez, a 22-year-old nursing major from Mount Airy, who also serves as a sergeant in the Army Reserves, said, "I knew it would happen when I first decided to run. I knew it might take this route. I just tried to remain focused on what I've done for this university. It makes me feel better." Now, according to Perez, she claims that the hateful messages and bullying first began on TikTok after she uploaded a video titled "When Both Baltimore's HBCUs, Mr. and Miss See Each Other." Perez further addressed the hate and said, "It was a mixture of me invading their space. People would say, 'How did Copen allow this to happen?' And that they were confused, and Black people can never have anything." Perez added, "My parents are immigrants from Guatemala. I can relate to people who were first generation. I was given the freedom to pursue my career. That's also another reason why I felt so welcome here at Copen." She continued, "As a person of color, I've been treated with love and support, and it's been very lovely. I've created a lot of friendships and bonds with them. It has been very pleasant. I stayed no matter the amount of hate I'm receiving, I will continue my reign. I ran for a reason, and I will finish with the same positive energy." Now, meanwhile, according to recent data from Maryland's Copen State University school records, 80% of the students enrolled in the liberal arts school identify as Black or African American, whereas 3% students identify as Latino or Hispanic. According to the school, Perez was crowned the university's Miss Sophomore from year 2020 to 2021 school year, and then Miss Junior the following year. As for her newest Miss Copen State University title, she earned that this past fall. So I'll ask you, Lynia, do you see she's a student at this HBCU. She had these other titles. She ran for Miss HBCU. Do you see why she's getting backlash, or do you think, well, they vote her in? What are your thoughts?
Well, you just said it. They voted her for those roles. I get why some people may feel some type of way. I get it. But if you put your personal ish to the side, whoever else ran against her, they just didn't. I'm not gonna say they didn't want it bad enough, but the people who voted decided she was the best option. Not that she's a better person, she was the best option at this time to to serve and to be the face of that title. Technically, she is a woman of color. She might not be a Black woman, but she is a woman of color. And the fact that she chose to go to a historically Black college says a lot. I don't know exactly what her reasons were for picking that institution, but she probably could have went anywhere else, but she chose that as an option. And congratulations to her. I don't know if she assimilates to white. None of them know either. So at this particular juncture, just be respectful of the title and the person that's carrying it at this present time.
And apparently, not only is she a student there, but she's been active. She's obviously participating by being Miss Sophomore or Miss Junior. Chike, what are your thoughts on this? Because it seems like the issue is more from people on TikTok than people at her university.
Well, as a historical Black college alum myself, I don't see anything wrong with it. Me personally, in my school, we had white people in my school.
We did too.
Actually, there were 3. And I actually applauded them because they decided to come to a historical Black college to get their secondary education. Listen, you wanted to come to our school to learn more about our culture or to get the education from our culture, kudos to you. But I have an issue with people who want to point out racism, but they are actually, in their pointing out racism, are racist themselves. I have an issue with that. You cannot point out or want exclusion when you want to be included. Because if I decided to go to Penn University, I would want them to accept me.
Yeah.
If they decided to create a school and they said no one else could come, then we'd be the first ones marching. Oh, this is racist. You can't. So if we create a school and it's known as a historical Black college, right? Everyone knows it. We don't tell white people that they can't come. We don't tell any other race that they can't come. And this woman is a woman of color. I don't see the issue.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Adam?
Well, first, I am shocked that people on the internet have nothing better to do than to complain about random things. But I guess this is the state of the world we're in. Second, I'm just, like you said, Stephen, she won sophomore, junior. This was kind of predicted. So it is probably just a lot of people on the internet that have nothing else to do but complain. And we know that's what people on social media like to do sometimes. So this feels like a big non-story from my point of view.
I agree. I mean, like I said, she is not, I went to HBCU as well, Virginia State University Trojans. And there was 2 gentlemen that I knew of, one because I worked with them, but they were twins. They were brothers. I don't know if they were twins. I think they were twins, but they're brothers for sure. One, he was on a baseball scholarship, and the other, he went to the school. And he was very active. We had they had a modeling organization on our campus, and he was part of that. He ended up pledging a fraternity, and so he was active, so he embraced the whole experience. So, like I said, they voted her in. You know what I mean? Like you said, she was popular. She was Miss Sophomore. She was Miss Junior. So she probably was known, and they voted her in. So,
and she probably was a good candidate for the school. She probably did very well for the school itself.
Yep. So congratulations, Ms. Perez. All right. Well, our production designer claims that he pays $18.50 per month to live in a laundromat, and which he claims is less expensive than a regular apartment in New York City. He moved to New York from Chicago in 2019 after discovering the laundromat on an online forum. Despite the fact that his ex-girlfriend thought the idea of him living in a laundromat was revolting, he took the opportunity and moved anyway. He previously worked in a warehouse and had lived in a commercial space. According to CNBC Make It, the laundromat is located in Maspeth, Queens, and the previous tenant added a kitchen within the small space. On the other hand, the laundromat hasn't been a workspace in working order since 2005. And when he first moved, the rent was listed at $17.50 with 2 months upfront and then an $875 security deposit. In 2021, his rent increased $18.50, and he pays $120 in utilities plus $60 for internet access. He said, I like the freedom of a commercial space, even though there are definitely fewer tenants' rights. Something feels more ethical about moving into a vacant storefront that's been empty for years and taking up an apartment in some residential neighborhood that you're not familiar with. He says the small space makes him feel like a hoarder, but he likes living in the laundromat because of the community reminds him of his childhood. He was born and raised in a commune in Texas, but described his experience. His personal philosophy is that everyone is entitled to live in an open space, despite being mugged in the neighborhood several months ago. Now, people are looking out for him more than ever, he says, and reminds him of the true community he grew up with as a child. He says, living in a storefront has taught me more resourcefulness in a way I've never known before. I really can't be too picky about what comes my way. I just have to make the best of it. And that's the greatest skill I could ask for. It's nothing I could teach myself. It's something that you can only learn from life. That's really in line with the life philosophy I have. Adam, what do you think? This guy, he says it's a lot less than an apartment.
I think so. Probably younger Adam would have loved this, and who didn't? Well, maybe just me dream about like living in a video game store or a Blockbuster or something like that, and just like, yeah, this is cool. I live in something wacky, so I think it's pretty cool. And it is. New York has a kind of apartment housing issue, so might as well take up an empty spot and use it. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
What about you, Chike?
So you got to get it where you can get it. If he's happy there, then I mean, who's to say? And the landlord's probably happy because it's not a working laundromat, right?
Right.
He's getting some kind of income from the space. Hey, do what you got to do, bro. Live.
Lynia, and he's 27. Lynia.
I got nothing. It's very it is very resourceful. I mean, who would have thought to move into that type of space to live? I don't know. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
To see how he's maneuvering, like how big it is and what he has access to, because like, is there a kitchen? Like, how is that set up? It like I'm curious to know. I mean, at the end of the day, $18.50 is still a lot, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to what is in New York. Already for something that's tantamount to the size of a shoebox. Right. And you're paying $3,500 for it a month. So, my man, he's probably going to be rich, like in a few years. Exactly. Like he's probably going to have make millions of dollars. sooner or later, based off of how he's been living, he's going to be like sitting high on a hog at some point based on how he's been maneuvering with himself. I know a lot of resourceful people, especially on here. I ain't gonna name no names, but they be moving and grooving. So kudos to him.
Yeah. I'm just worried about the rat problem because those New York rats ain't no joke. And you in a laundromat?
Yeah, but put your bed on stilts, high stilts. Yeah,
exactly. Our last story: the Beehive is not playing games regarding Beyonce's upcoming tour, with some launching GoFundMe accounts to fund their concert experience. Some fans have set up GoFundMe accounts in the hopes that their loved ones and friends will contribute to their concert experience, with goals ranging from $500 to $5,000. However, because Ticketmaster will use a lottery system to issue codes to fans, these fans still have to go through the hassle of the pre-sale. Now, according to TMZ, one fan wrote on their GoFundMe, "This is the only life experience I care about living before I die. I will get those front row tickets either way, but this is a safer than selling my kidney on the black market." Another said they have bills to pay, so set up a GoFundMe is the only way they can afford to buy the concert ticket. Now, the concert pre-sale in the UK has begun, but they have had some issues with the apps and queues are closed due to the overwhelming demand. However, some people are opposed to the idea of fans creating GoFundMes, as the site was originally made to support real causes. One user wrote, "GoFundMe was made for American healthcare. This should be reported." Another said, "Would I be wrong to start a GoFundMe for these Beyonce tickets?" Chike, good idea, bad idea?
Well, I mean, listen, people have done GoFundMe for crazier things. But if anyone knows the price of those Beyonce tickets, you need a GoFundMe to go get one of those tickets. However, I guess the Beehive is really going to be at me. I've been to a Beyonce concert. She puts on an excellent show, like A class, A plus. I can't justify the price. I can't, with her world-class performance, I can't justify the price.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is there any artist you would create a GoFundMe to go see, Adam?
No. No.
No. I was trying to think that, like, how much would I spend on a concert? And I don't think I would spend too much. And yeah, I couldn't even imagine my favorite artist that I would want to see in concert. So yeah, I would probably avoid it.
Can I just add something, please, in the contrast of what you could possibly create a GoFundMe for? So, like, if Harvard said, we're going to enroll anyone in school, right? You only have a 90-day window to enroll. And we're going to take the first 20,000 people, right? And it's a possibility that you can get in, but you don't have the money. That's when you go do the GoFundMe for that.
Yeah. I think asking for money online, and before I forget, don't forget to check out StephenKnightShow.com for our latest merch, is not really the best idea, especially like kind of the begging things. But there's just so much better purposes with using GoFundMe that have better meaning, I think.
It was interesting. So I was wishing someone that I passively know on Facebook happy birthday, and she inboxed me. And she thanked me for the birthday. And then she said, "I would never post this on Facebook, but if you want to bless me with a Cash App, here's my Cash App."
Oh, no, that's a thing now. When people's birthday come around, they post their Cash Apps.
It's one thing if you post it on your page, which I think is tacky, but it's one thing if you post on your page. But one thing to inbox me, someone I barely know, I was happy birthday.
Wow.
Inbox me.
Yeah, no.
Next level.
Lynia, what do you think about this GoFundMe situation?
People just be peopling.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. People who know me know I absolutely, unequivocally love Michael Jackson. He is my ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't creating no GoFundMe to go see Michael Jackson. As
Right.
much as I love him, because I love him, like Mike is the ultimate for me.
Right.
Period. No one else. Mike. I am not going to, and I mean, and Chike said it. People have created GoFundMe for way more. It was something like a couple years ago with chicks wanting to raise money to get to, I think, the All-Star game in Vegas or something that was going on in Vegas a couple years ago. They wanted to get flued out so they could try to get to these players. And these, I better say the H word. These heifers was on GoFundMe trying to raise money so they can, get out there so they can, get they
It's
thing
an
going.
investment, right?
Y'all do what y'all do, but let me tell you something. I hope when you do it, you take some of that money and pay your bills before you go, so you can have somewhere to come back when you
Right.
get back, and you have somewhere to live, and you have food to eat. Cause you just talk about the ticket to get to the show. What about the airfare or wherever she gonna be at? Don't you gotta eat? Don't you gotta get there? What you gonna do? What you gonna go? I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right.
Y'all gonna be out there tricking?
Well, there was the girl in New York who she didn't pay her rent to go see Beyonce at Coachella. And so she got back and obviously didn't have the money for her rent. But the Beehive came together and paid her rent for her.
I don't know if you saw that thing that I put in my story, Stephen, but it's a meme and it says your back tooth looking at you.
Oh, I did see that.
For them Beyonce tickets.
Well, I saw someone post something. They said last month y'all complained about the price of eggs. Now y'all fight to get these Beyonce tickets. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Well, listen, Lynia, as always, thank you for great hot topics. I will see Chike in movie reviews, and we will be right back after this.